We know we're at or near the very bottom of the crypto market. One of the simplest roads to wealth is simply buying when things are way down and selling when the market flips around. This isn't rocket science. I call it buying when it's boring. Now, there are different ways, though, to set up your portfolio when doing this. Like literally getting rich in crypto has everything to do with buying low so that you can sell high. And if I were to say prices are very low, they are. But today I want to talk about different ways to set up your portfolio for different amounts of risk versus different returns. Some things will do better than others, right? And it's really hard to tell which projects exactly will do 50x and which will do 500x, and which ones might simply run out of gas before they get out of this bear market. So let's talk about simple portfolio structures based on risk, and I'll share with you my thoughts on if I was starting all over, what I would put in those portfolios. Do note, this isn't financial advice. I'm a crypto investor myself. I'm not telling you what to put in your portfolios. I'm sharing with you what I would do if I were starting all over, as well as different breakdowns depending on how much funds I had. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. If you like money and you like crypto and you're looking for a real investor take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. As I said before, I'm not a financial advisor, though I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel, and particularly today, these are all projects that I do own. We do want to thank our Patreon members. We do have a private Discord that our Patreon members get access to. Now, make it rain on that like button. Strap in for the show. Let's get started. Now, Friday, I had a private call with our Patreon members, and some of them were asking me about ideas for how to balance a portfolio. And that conversation started me thinking about this over the whole weekend, and I wanted to share my thoughts on how to do this. If you could hold on to 3 tokens, the question to me was, if you could hold on to only 3 tokens, what would that have? Then they asked if you could hold on to 5, what would that have? And I realized the answers to that were quite a bit different. And extending on that, if I could hold 10, what would that look like? And that was even different in some ways than the 5. And as I thought about this, I realized that I would hold very different tokens depending on how many I could hold. Now, if I could hold only 3, I would actually go pretty conservative with blue chips. Though if I could hold 5, I would start being more risky with them. And if I could hold as many as 10 different ones, I would be much more risky. Why would that be? Well, with more that you're holding, you're counting on the diversity of your holdings as giving you safety. Let me explain. We're in the middle of a massive technology shift that will change the world. Doesn't happen every day where we find ourselves in the middle of a tech shift this big, this strong, and it will not be this good for 10 more years, perhaps 1 or 2 cycles more. And the kind of profits that we love about crypto, that we came into crypto for, won't likely nearly be as strong. Now, knowing that, I want to make the most out of this opportunity where prices have retraced huge like they have, which puts us in a fantastic situation to buy low. And I'll give you my thoughts on what I would buy if I could only hold 3, 5, or 10 cryptos in my portfolio. Now, as it stands, I probably am diversified across 200. Now, when I was new in crypto just 5 years ago, I didn't have the ability to do that, not at all. I was diversified actually at first across 1, but as I did a little bit well, I diversified across a couple. And then later I was diversified across like 5 and then 10, and it built from there. Now, if I could invest in just 3, what's important is that I go safe. With 3, I don't have much room for any of these to fail. If I pick higher risk ones, perhaps 1, 2, or 3 of them could fail, and I would be wasting this run. So I want blue chips that I feel have a strong use case and a clear future if this was the portfolio that I had to put together. It'd be really interesting. Today is August 22nd. Be really interesting to see how these different portfolios, if I were to put 1,000 into each of these three, what it would turn into over the next 4 years, and then 1,000 into each of the 5, and then 1,000 into each of the 10, depending on how much money I had to diversify. So if I was able to put just the 3, I want blue chips that I feel have a very strong use case and what I feel is a clear future. So what I would pick if I could only hold 3 and say I had 3,000, I wanted to diversify 1,000 into each. My 3 picks would be, and this isn't in any particular order, it would be 1,000 into Cardano, 1,000 into Chainlink, because I feel like they've done a good job at putting themselves into the primary position so that when DeFi does well, they do well. My third one would be a Comey's token, OMI. Now, if you're seeing this for the first time, maybe you don't know much about these projects. I cover them a lot. Other than Chainlink, I haven't covered a whole lot because I have much more than 3 projects. So I actually don't hold Chainlink. But if I could only buy 3 because I had such small funds, I would need to play it safe, and I would buy Chainlink. So I want to share my screen. Cardano would be one of them, and Cardano's current price is 44.77 cents, and its current market cap is 15 billion. So it's not super small, but most of their tokens are out there, at least 75% of them. So the fully diluted market cap isn't too much higher, and you see the chart here where it's pulled back tremendously. So Cardano, I really like, really strong community. They took a very slow development path where they planned it out, structured it out, and before they started building. And so relatively, they run into few problems because they took such a long development time. The biggest problem is the long development time. A lot of people complain about that, but having seen Solana fail so many times, people are starting to get why Cardano chose to go this route. So Chainlink, their current price today is $6.81. So $1,000 into Chainlink would what? Get me 130 coins, maybe 130 tokens. It did hit previous highs as high as $50, and it was recently even cheaper. Oh, this is not showing everything. There we go. I was missing that. It did recently go up as high as almost $9 and has fallen back down to under $7. And perhaps these fall even further. I don't know. It's hard to tell what the future holds, but they have retraced significantly, in fact, massively. And so if I could only hold 3, these would be my 3. Akomi would be the last one. Current market cap is under $1 billion. It's at 371 million. There's some discrepancy between Coin Market Cap and CoinGecko's numbers. We'll look at CoinGecko's numbers later, but essentially it's 0.14 cents. I've talked about Akomi a lot, so you can see any of my videos on VV and Akomi. I've talked about it in depth, what I like about it. Though this is higher risk than the other 2, I put it near that blue chip category, and I know enough about this that I would feel strong enough to put it in the 3 that I could hold. So let's look at the scenario of if I could only hold 5. Now, keep in mind with 5, I'm able to be more risky with this. Obviously, you hope none of your picks would ever fail. But the world that we play in is high risk, high reward, and it can happen, and it does. For example, if I were to tell you 7 months ago, Luna would fail and go down 99.9%, you would have said that I was crazy, that I was smoking crack. Luna is one of the strongest projects out there. Just realize it happens. With 5, being able to diversify across 5, I would be more risky than I would with just 3. But not near as risky as I would be with diversifying across 10. So let's look at what I would do if I could only buy 5. And let's say I had 5,000 to invest, and I was going to put 1,000 into each of these. Number 1 would actually be OMI again. So let me share my screen, and I would pick OMI. Again, it's 0.14 cents. So $1,000 of this, I'm going to get a lot of tokens. Why? They have a very high token supply, versus a lot of other things. So the token price is really cheap, though I like where their overall market cap is. I followed this project a long time. I really like the co-founders and the team, and some of the best NFT collectibles, in my opinion. And I think they have a strong future. Number two that I would buy is, I did want to share the discrepancies, right? So I'm looking at this on CoinGecko and the other one, CoinMarketCap. So this is saying that the market cap is 400 million. This says that the market cap is 371 million with a fully diluted market cap of 437 million. And this is saying the fully diluted market cap is $1 billion. So some discrepancies there. Where the discrepancies come from is that the team itself, they hold a lot of tokens in for backup to their app. How to explain it? And so though they're in circulation, they're not really ever going to be in circulation necessarily. And so CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap are just counting those differently. Okay, so OMI would be the first one. The next one would be Cornucopia's token. Now, Cornucopia's is a AAA level game being built on the Cardano ecosystem using Unreal Engine 5. Done some interviews with the founders. In fact, going to have them on probably this week to do another video, an AMA. They have an upcoming land sale. I particularly like land in the crypto space. If it's a game that I really like, I've done extremely well. I made some incredible returns on Axie Infinity land. So in other words, I was buying digital land that doesn't really exist except in a video game. And my $4,100 turned into $400,000. And had I sold the top, which you never are able to sell exactly the top, it would take a crystal ball that works to do that. And we don't have one of those. Nobody does. But if I had that, I literally, if I had sold that $4,100 investment at the top, I probably, the exact net is a little bit hard to determine, but it'd be about $10 to $13 million from $4,100 into a video game, a blockchain video game, specifically their land. Cornucopia's, their token, a little bit of history on their token. So it's down from its previous highs. It's showing here that it hit almost 7.5 cents. I think it actually went higher than that. That is just not reflected there and has been pulling back. Now, what's interesting is this shows it as 1.3 cents, but they have the token trading on PancakeSwap, but they also have it on some Cardano dexes. And on the Cardano dexes, they actually sell for a lot higher. Now, right now, there's no bridge between the two. So, of course, I'm not going to buy it on the Cardano dexes because it's trading for like 6 to 8 times the price. I've been buying it on PancakeSwap. So, just note that I would not be buying it on our Cardano DEX because I don't like paying more for something. Now, eventually they'll have a bridge open up there, and probably what will happen is on the Cardano DEXs, the price will come down, but that might also mean that on PancakeSwap or on, the BNB chain, the price goes up. All right. That's my second one out of the 5. The third one out of the 5 is Bumper Protocol. Now, what do I like about Bumper Protocol? Number one, their token price is all the way down at 3.6 cents. I like buying cheap. I know it's counterintuitive, and so many people like to buy after prices have already gone up 20x. I really like to buy projects that I like after their charts look like this. Notice this rounding bottom here. And who knows, it could go down even further, but you have this nice rounding bottom. Their fully diluted valuation is under 10 million. Their current market cap just has a question mark there because we don't know what the circulating supply is. But if we took the circulating supply and times it by that price, that would give us our current market cap. Probably it's around 1 million or 2 million, somewhere in there is just my guess. I really like what Bumper's trying to accomplish. Watch one of my previous videos with Bumper's team, with the founder, to get what they're doing, and you'll see why I'm so excited. Now, in my opinion, this one has 1000x potential. Does that mean that'll happen? We never know. It'd take a crystal ball to know that. And I don't have one, at least one that works. That magic 8 ball I bought from, Walmart is just a fun toy to play with. It is not an actual crystal ball. So will Bumper go 1000x? I don't know. It might even fail and go 0x from where it's at. In fact, it might go negative and become worth nothing, as with any of these projects. But I like the potential reward for what I feel is the risk, and would absolutely include this in a portfolio if I was limited to just buying 5 tokens. The next one I want to talk about is Ultra. And Ultra is, again, their price is way down from its previous highs at, what was that, 240 or something, 231. It's all the way down at 32 cents. So it's retraced about 85%. Its current market cap is 84 million. Okay, sounds good. Now, what is Ultra? If I were to click on their website, essentially you would see that Ultra is like the Steam for blockchain games. So Steam is like something that if you're a gamer, you can download Steam and you can buy games within the Steam ecosystem, and you don't have to remember different logins and stuff. It's all handled through your Steam ecosystem. Well, Steam has decided to be anti-NFTs and anti-blockchain, which opens the door wide open for a project like Ultra to come in, because I think blockchain gaming is the future of gaming. And right now you call it blockchain gaming, but in the future it's just going to be called gaming. Why? Well, because you're going to play video games and it's going to have blockchain related to it. You won't even know it. And here's why. I was just talking to one of our community members, and we were talking about this project, and I was sharing with him some thoughts. I used to play this game, 19 years ago now. It's called EVE Online, and it's still around today. When I played it 19 years ago, I actually made like $7,200, like selling stuff in the game over a period of about 18 months. Now, what's interesting about that is you weren't allowed to do that, but they didn't really enforce it. It wasn't a big deal because you don't really own the items. Technically, they do according to their terms of service. So essentially, I would earn some in-game currency and I would sell that through an online place. And I would sometimes sell items like that I would earn in the game. And I'd sell those items, ones that people really wanted. And I could sell them for real world cash, like $300, $400. And so it was really fun to play a video game and actually make money playing it. Now, why can't you do that with gaming now or traditional games? Because they have what's called trapped value. So the blockchain gaming is the future of gaming. And the reason is because I like to think of it as ownership in the games, that you actually own these items. Right now, most all the games out there say, you don't really own those items. We own them. What blockchain gaming embraces is that, no, you own those items and you can sell them. And why would you play a game in the future when blockchain gaming is at the same level regular gaming is? Why would you play a game where you don't own the items versus a game that does own the items? And Ultra is going to be at the center of that, right? Of some of it. Like there's competitors to Ultra, but they're the biggest player in that. So I like where the price is. I mean, obviously, I wish it was even cheaper. The market cap's at 84 million. I would love it if the market cap was at 8,400,000. But it is where it is, and it's pulled back pretty nicely. I would absolutely include this if I could only do 5. The other one in my 5, so these are, for me, these are medium risk. When we go into the 10, they're even higher risk, though it does include some from this list. So the other one I would include in that is Freeway Token. And Freeway Token is potentially one of the riskier ones in here, but one with a huge potential upside that could go hundreds of X's or 1,000X or possibly even more. And Freeway Token is the ecosystem token for the Freeway platform. And the Freeway platform essentially does some trading on funds to yield returns. Now, they own a brokerage in Greece, and there's some interesting things about it. Do watch one of the videos about it. Know that this token is high risk. I still own a lot of it, like a lot of it. And the reason is because I think you'll do well, especially in the short and medium term. Long term, I hope it does really well because it'll make me super, super rich. But freeway token I would include in this. And I do have a significant amount that I have bought over the past year. All right. So now let's get to where I start getting even, let's get into where I start getting even more risky. Keep in mind, there's much higher risk projects. These are what I call high risk, but then acceptable risk for me and what I'm interested in. Do know I'm not telling you what to be interested in. That's fully on you. These are just what I'm interested in as an investor, and I try to share with you why. These are ones that I have looked into the team, and I feel like I like where their focus is. I feel that there is room for the niche, or I call it the narrative that they're in, but it's still early days, and any of these could fail. In fact, my breakdown still works even if half of these fail. So my criteria for this portfolio is that they have 100x potential. So 100x potential. And I think they have a true shot at it. But even if I'm wrong and some of these fail, can still do amazing. And here's how that works. If I diversify across 10 solid but risky projects with 100x potential, let's say one half of them fail. So out of the 10, 5 crash and burn. But out of that 10, 2 of them do over 100x. And let's say 3 of them then do 30x. So running the numbers on that, that's still a 29x, which is incredible over a 3 to 4 year time period. If one of them ends up doing really well and does do 1,000x, you realize it would take my overall portfolio to over 100x for the whole portfolio. So are you curious as to what I'd put into my 10? All right, let's get into it. No particular order. Number 1 would be Bumper. And do watch that video of Bumper if you haven't already. Go to my YouTube channel and just then search for Bumper. And there's a couple interviews with the founder. You'll see what I'm talking about. If what they're doing comes to fruition, this token will go crazy. Keep in mind, maybe it doesn't come together. Maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe they run out of money during this bear market before it happens. But if what they're doing happens, it will be huge if it works. And I think it will. I can't say I have a magic crystal ball and know for sure, but I would absolutely include this in my 10. The second one in my 10 is Drive. Now, Drive, let me share my screen. Well, first of all, I think I've already shown you Bumper. So the ticker symbol is BUMP. Let's jump over to Drive. Yeah, it's like Drive, but with an F instead of a V. Their ticker symbol is DRF. Now, essentially, if Uber and blockchain were to have a baby, you would get Drive. And that's just an easy way to think about it. But they are competing very much with Uber and Lyft, but they have a very different model. The model that they have is that drivers pay a monthly fee in order to drive for Drive. In fact, local franchises, say somebody wants to own the Paris, a section of the Paris area and have a franchise there, they have to buy the token and stake the token in order to get the franchise there. And then the drivers pay a monthly fee, and it might be $100, $200 to be able to drive for Drive, but then they get to keep 100% of the fares for what they get for driving people. And so what this does is this saves riders a lot of money, and it also makes the drivers more money because it's a much lower overhead system than Uber and Lyft. You realize Uber and Lyft sometimes take 50 to 80% is what I've heard on some of the drives. And so that leaves probably the drive being more expensive than they could be, but it definitely leaves the driver making less than they could. And so I think that's created this wide open space where a player like Drive can make it. Now, I've interviewed the founder of Drive twice on the channel, so look for that video and you'll see if you like it too. The third one I would pick is Omi. Wow. Yep, I like this one, don't I? It keeps coming up. Fairly high risk, like it could go away. They have NFTs with Disney. They have NFTs with Marvel. They have NFTs with Star Wars. Some of the first Darth Vader on the blockchain, first Batman on the blockchain. So they have some DC NFTs. So I'm really excited where this one could go. The token is about to have some use cases in the coming months. And so I'm excited what the token might be able to do. That's why it keeps showing up. The number 4 I would pick is Cornucopia's token or land. All right. So if I've got 10, I only have $1,000. So I would maybe diversify. If I only had 1,000, I would put it in. You can buy the token on PancakeSwap. Or possibly even the land. And it's hard to tell which will do better from return on investment. But if you go to jpeg.store, you do have to have a Cardano wallet to connect to this. So if you get the NAMI wallet, you can connect to this and you can buy I like the entry-level land for the highest ROI. It's usually the entry-level land that will do the best over time if the land does well. So 179 ADA for the entry level, or 180 ADA for the entry level small land plot claims. And so, $1,000 would get you 5 of these, and you would still have a little bit left over to buy some Kopi tokens. I would possibly buy 3, and I would put the rest into Kopi tokens. All right, you ready for number 5? Another project I've talked about. Notice these are ones that I like, and there's a lot of reasons I like them, but Formation Finance. Now, DeFi has done absolutely terrible forever since last March. And so look at, this Formation Finance actually launched into a bad market. It was already June before their token came out, and it did really well even when most things weren't. But because of token investing and other price pressures, their token has gotten savage from 40 cents all the way down to 0.28 cents. So think of it as 0.3 cents. So you can actually get 3 tokens for a penny at that price. In fact, a little bit more, 3.5 tokens for a penny. So their token price has been absolutely savage. Well, I like to buy cheap. Will this do well? Well, they could always fail, but if they come out of this and emerge, just survive, and then money starts coming into the space, this market cap is only 477,000. If it went 100x from here, do you realize that's what? 4 million, 40 million, 477 million at 100x from here. Well, I like that. If it goes to say $5 billion market cap, that's 1,000x from here. That's exciting. Now, I don't know if it'll do it. Essentially, they are kind of doing index funds within decentralized finance. So say somebody doesn't follow crypto day to day and they want to be able to invest in sectors. Okay, I want to invest in metaverses. And I want to invest in this, but I want a lot of that to be handled with low overhead costs. That's what Formation Finance is putting together. Makes sense for me. I like it. So that would be one of my 10. The next one is Illuvium Land. Yep, not the token. The token is probably going to continue to go down, though I really like the token. I don't own any of the token yet. I probably will. Illuvium has been nailing it on their just everything that they've done, in my opinion. Now, the token did peak out at like $1,800 or something, and it's come down from there, and it's like been bouncing around 100 last time I checked. But that's not what I would buy, because the pre-sale investors and other tokens, like those that have locked up their tokens through staking to get staking rewards, are starting to get those tokens unlocked. So there's probably going to be even more price pressure pushing the token down. However, their land, the entry level price, about $500. So for $1,000, I could get 2 pieces of their land. Now, land in video games. Let me address this a little bit more fully. Why would you invest in land in video games? Oh, by the way, I wasn't sharing my screen. Let me share that with you. See, this is Illuvium. I'm actually at tokentrove.com. What I like about Token Trove is they've done an integration with Illuvium's land that makes it really easy to see the land. They do a fantastic job here. So I can like zoom in and I can see the land that's available. The different colors represent things. And if they have brown around it, these ones are for sale. And so this one is the entry level price. You can get the next one to it. The guy's asking a crazy price, but this one is asking 0.32 ETH, which is about $500 right now. Great job on this. So why land? Right? Well, it goes back to that Axie Infinity land investment. Why did that land do so well? Well, this is a whole new concept of ownership. And some of the games in the future where the games do really well, the land might do extremely well. And so it really hasn't been proven yet. In fact, Axie Infinity's land isn't even usable yet. Despite it being usable, some of what I was buying for $72 for the bear market, I was buying Mystic Plot Chest, which had a Mystic Plot piece of land in it, came with some tokens, and also came with some other items for $72, essentially 1 ETH at the time. At the height of the market, some of those with like road access and stuff were selling for $120,000. Yes, that's right. The initial purchase price was $70, and they went up as high as $120,000 and were selling. Yeah, that's crazy. I know. So you're right. This is $500. It's not $72. But who knows where this could go if this game gets a lot of players over time. In fact, what if something like Illuvium became not even the biggest game in the world, but the 5th largest game in the world? What the land values would do? Incredible numbers, because you would have businesses buying the land because they're running a business through what they're earning here, and they're selling it because of this ownership society. In fact, that's what I saw with Axie Infinity. Who was buying that land, paying so much? It was businesses buying that land because you could make money through the game. And some of it was speculation. In fact, it was all speculation that the land use case would make sense in the future. Nonetheless, people were paying those prices. All right. So number 7 on our list is another land sale. And this is Network's land. Now, Network's land is currently trading down at 0.22 ETH for an entry-level price. And what I like about on OpenSea, their Network land, you can see that there's a total of 10,300 items. The floor price is just under 0.23. And so I would essentially be able to buy how many of these? 0.23 ETH. So I'd be able to buy, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these for 1,000. And do I know that these will do well? No. Networks were done really well at partnering with a lot of NFT game companies that are developing some cool things. Back when I invested in Axie Infinity, it's easy for people to say, oh yeah, I would have invested in Axie Infinity back then when I did too. I invested in January 2019 when the land sale first launched. Most people passed it up. Why? Because it wasn't proven. It definitely wasn't proven. There was no way you would know that, a $72 investment could go to $120,000. That's the risk versus reward. I felt like it had good potential. I felt like this idea of blockchain gaming would be huge in the future, and that land ownership would be very big too. Was I right on that? Absolutely, I was right. And it freaking crushed it. And there are going to be more projects that crush it too. That's why Network Land makes number 7 on my list. Number 8 on my list. Dun, dun, dun. Are you ready? It would be Veracity. Now, Veracity's market cap is a little bit higher than I wish it was, 52,000, but it has everything to do with advertising and esports, which I think is going to be a really big thing. Esports becoming one of the biggest things in the world. Advertising within the esports, smart, right? So this is a narrative that makes sense to me, will be absolutely huge, and that's why I put Veracity on the list. Current market cap 52 million. Sure, I wish it was cheaper. Yes, the circulating supply is only 1/10 the total supply. I don't love that about it. It just is what it is. But their price has absolutely gotten savage. It was trading at just over 8 cents, and it's presently about half a penny. So it's absolutely gotten crushed, and it's down 92 or 93%. Well, that's when I like to buy, when it's gotten crushed. It's no fun. It's easy to buy when it's going up like this and it's really exciting. But you can see what happens. Then you get crushed by this. What happens, like I said at the beginning, it's literally about buying low so that you can sell high. What is my next pick in the top 10? Well, that would be Wanchain. Now, yes, Wanchain, you can see in the bottom, is one of our strategic partners. I've been a fan of Wanchain long before they were a strategic partner. I really like this team, some of the best tech developers in the world, and they're building trustless systems for cross-bridge technology so that you can send tokens easily without even thinking about it across the different chains in a trustless way. What is trustless? A trustless bridge? A trustless bridge is a bridge you don't have to trust, because incentives are set up so that anyone who cheats would lose more than what they could gain by cheating. That's what a trustless bridge is. A trusted bridge, which means, oh yeah, it sounds like you can trust them. A trusted bridge is actually the incentives are misaligned so that if somebody did cheat, there's actually a bunch that could be stolen. And so you have to trust that that won't happen. That's what a trusted bridge is. Do you see why I like trustless bridge technology better? Now, Wanchain has been previously in the 2017 bull market, which carried over into early 2018. It went to almost $10. With the March pickup that we had, it went to about 240. I don't know if it reflects that here, but I remember it being at 240. And it's currently gone down about 90%, 93% as well. And so it's on a big discount sale. The current market cap's only 40 million. I really like the team, some of the smartest developers in the ecosystem that I've ever talked to. And I believe in their future. So I would absolutely include them in my 10. Can it 100x from here? Absolutely. At 100x from here would only take it to a $4 billion market cap, which, in my opinion, is very possible with Wanchain. Last but not least, are you ready for number 10? And this would be, number 10 is Engine Starter. But I would actually throw 2 in here between Engine Starter or V-Launch. And both of these are Launchpad projects. These are 2 of my favorite Launchpad projects. And the reason that I like them is I feel like they have solid connections in the industry, which is what you want from a Launchpad. Now, right now, most people aren't talking about Launchpads. Why? Because the market's in a massive pullback. But when the market flips around and is doing well, that's when Launchpads become so critical and valuable. Your tokens are like gold. Why? Well, in order to participate in the initial offerings of these projects that are launching through a launchpad, well, you have to have their tokens. And when the market is very, very bullish, there's a huge amount of people trying to get into these new projects that are launching, but only those with the tokens can get them. And so the top launch pads become very valuable and their tokens become extremely valuable, and everyone's fighting to get them. In order to buy them, they have to pay a higher and higher price because you have to hold them in order to participate in these launches. Well, why would you care about participating in these launches? Because when a lot of money's coming into the market, a lot of these initial DEX offerings, say the token, you're able to buy it through the launch pad, you're able to get an allocation of $1,000 and you're able to buy them at $1 a piece. Well, some of these then within a few days sometimes go 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, and 100x. So those launchpad tokens become very, very valuable. Now, there's been a lot of launchpads that have come out over the past year and a half, a ton. So that's why I listed Engine Starter and VLaunch. They're some of the best, in my opinion, that have the right connections to get access to the top projects, meaning they're more likely that some of the top hottest projects that everyone wants will come through them, because it's that kind of thing that determines the value of the token, because having the token is all about needing to get access to the projects that are coming through those launch pads. Does that make sense? So they've been in a massive pullback, and Engine Starter was previously as high as 21 cents. And right now it's less than a penny. In fact, it's almost like pulled back 98% from there. Part of that is their tokens have vested, and part of that is launch pads are out of sight, out of mind right now. They're still doing some raises through them, but it's not like printing money like it is in a hot market. You will see this price flip around. Let me show you an example of one that did of what the price can do. Look at this. This is where, when nothing was going on in the crypto market, this is DuckDAO Dime, DuckDAO. And so you could have bought this, token for $3.82, $3.22, $3, because basically the market wasn't super hot. And so the launchpad tokens that you needed to be able to participate were cheap. But then as things started to do well, look what it did. These ones went all the way to $100. So within just a few months, it went 33x. And there's other ones that did far more. This is just one example. So that's why I like VLaunch and I like Engine Starter. I feel like they have the right connection to make that happen. Now, I know the crypto market is slow right now. The decisions that you make during these pullbacks, they lead to life-changing ones when the market turns around. Now, I'm preaching to the choir here. How do I know that? Because you're here. Because a lot of people aren't. The fact that you're here is pat yourself on the back. You're smart. You're actually smarter than 95% of the people out there, because you have stuck around when it's gotten boring. Hopefully you're making smart pickups while things are boring, because markets do turn around. And when they do in crypto, the returns can be savage. They can be amazing. Thanks so much for joining us. This wrap is for all of you. Hope you like it. I know all of you know, if you've been a subscriber to the channel, you know what this rap is about. These are the principles that I wrote into the song that encapsulate what I think about, that helps me make good investments.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. Buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always made the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I'll sell when it's high, I'll buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, got parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong can soon become a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go of the hate, say the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.